Hello, and welcome to Season 4 of the Wedding Whisperer podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Burton, wedding concierge and owner of Simply Love Studio, coming to you from the heart of Central Kentucky. Around here, weddings are more than a single day. They're about family tradition, a little bit of chaos, and a whole lot of love. And my job is to help you navigate all of that with clarity and confidence while staying on budget. At Simply Love Studio, I help couples plan their weddings for free, connecting you with the right vendors, realistic timelines, and thoughtful guidance so that you can enjoy the process. This season, we're diving deeper into real connections, what works, what doesn't, and how to plan a wedding that truly feels like you. Whether you're newly engaged, deep in planning, or just love a good behind-the-scenes wedding story, you're in the right place. I'm excited to introduce Simply Love Studio's newest preferred vendor, Azura Restaurant and Patio. They are located on Lake Crest Circle, which is in Beaumont, right beside Texas Roadhouse. I feel like that's the easiest marker on that side of town if you're not familiar with where they're at. Their general manager, Taylor Huston, is joining us today. Taylor, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here.
If folks are listening to this and they are not familiar with Azur, will you share a little bit about the restaurant as a whole? And then we'll kind of jump into how you started there and how you ended up in the general manager role.
Absolutely. So we are a chef-led restaurant. We have seasonal menus. We try and carry fresh and local as much as possible. We've been here for 20 years. We did go through a reopen about a year and a half ago. So it's been a lot of fun. We've got a new head chef. We're putting it all back together. We've got about 80% of our original staff back. So it's been an amazing journey.
When you said that you had 80% of your staff back, I think that speaks volumes to you and to your owners, because that does not happen often in any industry, particularly the restaurant industry.
Absolutely. No, we are a family here. This is a community place, and that includes the staff. We really care about each other, and we always support each other as much as possible. That extends to our guests and our regulars, and a lot of people come here to celebrate because of that warm feeling you get when you're here.
And how long have you yourself been with Azur?
I've been with 5 years.
And you started as a server there?
Yes, I started as a server, and they pretty quickly trained me for management. I was a key holder for a while, and then the assistant manager.
And you did have some hospitality background before starting there, correct?
Definitely. No, I've been in the industry. It's been about 12 years now or so. I started serving when I lived in Georgetown, a little bit north of here, Lexington, and moved up to Cincinnati to go to school. And I worked at Montgomery Inn when I lived up there, and that was so much fun. It's a huge building. It's a really tight ship. They do a lot of business. It's very fast paced. It was so much fun to do.
And for those that maybe have not been in since you reopened, what would you say are some of the changes or upgrades and improvements you have made with the reopen?
Well, I will say that our concept, because we do seasonal and it's new American fusion food, so we don't have like a set, we don't do just Mediterranean or just Italian. It allows for a lot of creativity and a lot of flexibility. So we do have a new head chef. We've got Chef Tim Perkins, who has joined us for the reopen. He definitely lends his talents very well to our concept. He can think on his toes. He can put together ingredients in new and interesting ways, and he's always looking for something new to put on the menu.
If someone is listening to this and they're like, this is great, but like, why are we talking to a restaurant today? It's because you actually offer a lot of really good options for wedding festivities. You are sitting outside right now on your patio because it's a beautiful day while we are recording this. And you have a patio that is great for all types of events. Will you share a little bit about your patio just in general?
Absolutely. So our patio seats about 40 to 50 people. It's a pretty good size space. It's about half of our restaurant. We are definitely known for our patio. This is where we typically hold private events. In the summer, as you can see, it's nice and open and airy. We do have some fans we can turn on to keep the temperature down. And then in the winter, we have vinyl siding that we put down, and it is heated as well. So we can use it pretty much year round. think there's about a week or two in like early January that it is just too much. But other than that, we've hosted all kinds of things out here, everything from welcome dinners to receptions to wine tastings, all kinds of things.
And I was thinking about, like, engagement parties because a lot of times that's more of a stand-up mingling hour, hour and a half. I think it's great for that type of event. And then you can also do, the rehearsal dinner where you have everybody has the same meal or they get to pick from certain options. You have several different things when it comes to that. And then I see a lot of couples having, after the rehearsal dinner, they will have a welcome party for their out of town guests at the same location. So we feed everybody a good meal and then we kind of go into a light appetizers and a bar, basically.
This space is perfect for that. My favorite feature about the restaurant is that we have this U-shaped bar that goes from the inside to the out. So we can even do, cash bar, walk-up bar, or you can include it in a package if you want to. But it's really nice and really casual and really accessible. We can also set up, buffet tables and things like that. We can do family-style appetizers at the tables if you'd rather stay seated and kind of nosh like that. So yeah, we are really flexible here. Anything that you would like to have, we can definitely pull something together.
And one of the things that I like about you being a restaurant and having the different bar options that helps with budget so much. I will see sometimes maybe we'll say the groom's family is traditionally responsible for paying for a rehearsal dinner, but let's say groom's family doesn't drink. So sometimes they will pay for a lovely meal, but they will not pay toward the bar. And so if you are at, a certain venue, it may be more difficult to bring in a bar at that point. It just the logistics when you have an in-house bar like you have and have the food there, it makes it so much easier. And especially if people are from out of town trying to plan this, it's just all right there. Don't have to rent tables. You don't have to get chairs for it. You have it at their
Absolutely.
fingertips.
And we can even source, linens for the event. If you have anything in particular that you would like, you can come in and decorate ahead of time. There's a lot of things we can do with this space.
When I met you for the first time, we were talking about different ways to utilize the space, and I hadn't even thought about this. You had mentioned, the Sunday morning brunch for everybody. That had not crossed my mind, but I am a huge fan of Sunday morning brunches. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind. We'll go back to, like, a rehearsal dinner menu in a second, but share with me how your brunches work.
So we do brunches every Sunday morning from 10:30 to 2 o'clock. We've got some traditional options, a breakfast plate, eggs, bacon, biscuits, all of that fun stuff. We also got a Southern Benedict that's got some fried chicken and some gravy on it. We've got a bananas Foster French toast, all kinds of fun stuff on that as well. But I think what your listeners might be interested to hear is that we do mimosa flights. So that comes with an entire bottle of prosecco and then seasonal juices, so you can kind of mix and match and do whatever suits your fancy. And the fun thing about brunch is because it is already kind of a set menu, you don't have to go through that whole process of selecting and choosing and all that. You can kind of just come in as long as you contact me ahead of time and let me know how many people you're looking to bring. We don't have to go through the logistics of putting together a set menu. So it's really casual in that way.
Talking about minimums and the patio versus the restaurant, for rehearsal dinner, do you have food minimums or is there a rental fee for the patio or how does all of that work with the food cost?
So I will say, because of our reopening, we have decided to waive the private party fee for out on our patio for the first couple years, just to kind of get our customer base back. There are no fees to rent out the patio. There is only a per person minimum and then a guest count minimum. So we do require at least 20 people to rent out the patio in its entirety. We work at a set menu. We do have some packages already available that range from about $50 a person to $100 a person. Now, these are full sit-down four-course menus. If you would like to do something buffet style or just family style appetizers, we can definitely work out a price point that works best for you.
And if you are wondering if you are going to hit this 20-person minimum, just give you a quick rundown of who typically goes to rehearsal dinner. You will typically have your wedding party. It is nice to give them a plus one, especially if they are married or in a long-term relationship. You will invite the officiant. They may or may not come. It's usually 50-50 on that. depending on your relationship with the officiant, all of your parents, any grandparents, and then you typically have, if you have a ring bearer, flower girl, if they are at rehearsal, then you would want to invite those parents as well. You can either invite your out of town guests to rehearsal dinner or to the welcome party afterwards. So honestly, you hit 20 people very quickly. You mentioned that, the four-course meal starts at about the $50 range and goes up. Can they do like an appetizer, like a heavy appetizer cocktail style standing up?
We can set up buffet style tables, or like I said earlier, we can even do it family style, sitting down if you'd prefer that. And we will go through our menu and choose some appetizers that you might like. If you have anything in particular you're really looking to have, I've had a couple people come to us and say, I really want, a pimento cheese plate, or I really want oysters, or something like that. And we can source them as long as we have enough lead time to be able to do that. And we can put together a menu at a price point that makes the most sense for you.
And we talked a little bit about alcohol. Of course, this is a big part of wedding festivities for a lot of people. And I see that sometimes families or even, the bride and groom will have a specific type of alcohol that is either special to them or is from the state that they're from. If they want a particular kind of alcohol that you do not carry every day, is that something you can work with them on?
It depends on the type that it is. We have specific distributors who bring us specific brands. Each brand is dedicated to a specific distributor. So sometimes we can definitely do that. If I know with enough advance, we might even be able to, set up an account for a specific spirit if that's what you're looking for.
Everything I tell couples, I was like, everything about alcohol is complicated. It comes up in every single podcast, and it's always how complicated it
It is.
is.
It is very complicated, and for good reason. It's a controlled item.
And even though you have Liquor Barn literally right in your parking lot, you can't just run over and get it as
Yes, unfortunately.
easy as that sounds.
Yes, I know. Yes, because your liquor license is very specific about what you can and cannot do.
Do you ever do signature cocktails?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of our most favorite things to do. We have got a bar manager, and their name is Gail Eakins, and they are incredible. If you give them a vibe, a spirit, a flavor that you like, they can put something together that's really delicious, really nuanced. We do a lot of specialty cocktails for a lot of our events. Most recently, we did a charity event with Women Who Thrive, and we put together a cocktail called In Full Bloom, thriving. And that was like a prickly pear spritz. And it was so delicious. I keep using it on our specials because it was so amazing and everyone wants to have it back.
I know that whenever you were open previously that you did participate in some of the different restaurant events that we have throughout Lexington. I feel like we have a different restaurant event every week now. Do you participate in any of those now at all, like Restaurant Week or Burger Week or any of those kind of things?
Absolutely. We always love doing those events. They are a way, I think, for local restaurants in Lexington to not only showcase themselves, but a way for us to network together as well.
The first time I ever ate at Azur was during Restaurant Week.
Fine.
And I mean, this was years ago now. I don't know if you still have them or if you have them on the menu now, but it was essentially like pimento cheese balls
The
type thing.
fritters, yes.
Yes, the
Mhm.
fritters. Yes. They changed my life. I'm still talking about them.
No, you are
So,
not the only one. I keep having people asking us to bring it back to the menu. We're considering it for fall.
and it's funny how things like that stick in
They
your
do. They
mind.
really do. Food has a special ability to touch us.
100%. And I think a lot of times couples can be so focused on the wedding day and the food for the wedding day that sometimes they just forget about the rehearsal dinner in general until a couple months out and they're like, "Oh, we have to do that too and we have to plan for that." One of the things I talk about on almost every podcast is April and October as well. I'm assuming being close to Keeneland and Beaumont that you are very busy in those months.
Yes, we are already taking large party reservations for October. I think I have either a private or a public large party scheduled just about every week for October already, so it will fill up pretty quickly.
Is there an ideal time frame that you like for couples to book the patio for rehearsal dinner or other events?
Well, of course, as soon as you know what your game plan is, please go ahead and reach out to us. That way we can get those plans in place. However, a month is enough time for us to plan ahead and source some of those specific items if you might want. However, if you have waited till last minute, please don't hesitate to reach out. If we can fit you in, we definitely will.
And it is August right now, and I am still working with couples for October that are booking things. We have definitely decreased our average engagement length from about 12 months to at least the 4 to 6 month range now. And so it is more common now for vendors to be able to turn things around. We've kind of just got in that mindset now that we have to turn things out around quicker.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we are no strangers to the quick turnaround if need be.
And I'm sure in the restaurant industry, you pivot every
Oh,
single day, every hour.
every
So
hour, every moment. It is no no there are no dull days in a restaurant. I will say that.
if someone has never been to the restaurant before and they would like to come in just to try it one day, what are your hours?
Sunday through Thursday, we are open for dinner from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then we do Sunday brunch from 10:30 to 2 p.m.
With you being a restaurant and folks being able to come in at any point to try your food, do you offer any type of tastings for private events, or is it just are they encouraged to try the restaurant?
We could do tastings if there were any like specific items that you would really like to sample ahead of time. We could definitely work something out in our plannings together.
I know that you also do special events throughout the year. Can you share with me what you have coming up this fall in the
Oh,
restaurant?
absolutely. So, one thing I am most excited about, we do a lot of chef series dinners here, which are kind of culinary events. They're themed. Everyone sits down at the same time. The chef comes out and talks about the food and the inspiration for it. And it's usually 3 to 4 courses, paired cocktails, all of that. So, we're doing one of those at the end of August. I believe it's August 27th. And that is going to be featuring our local vendors. That is going to be dishes entirely comprised of local produce, meats, all of that. And each dish is going to be focused on a specific vendor. So we will have them in here. We're going to have Black Soil in here, where we get a lot of our produce from, which we love working with them. They're amazing. We've got a mushroom provider out of Berea, and his name is Tim Hensley. He's an interesting character. Excited to have him as well. And then Critchfield Meats here in Lexington, which I'm sure is a well-known name around here. They'll be joining us as well. And then we also do wine classes. We do wine Wednesdays, so we do those once a month. Come in at about 7 o'clock. 3 different wines. It's $35. You get to learn a little bit about the wine, the grapes, the soil, all of that, and that comes with paired appetizers as well. Of course, we have Keeneland all through October, where it gets a little busy in here, gets a little tight. In November, we do a wild game chef series, where we feature. Of course, it's hunting season, so we feature things like wild boar and alligator and things like that. That's always a lot of fun. And then in December, we also do a chef series around this Feast of Seven Fishes, and that is a 7 course, 7 fish traditional Feast of Seven Fishes.
That is crazy. I knew you did like some wine stuff, but I had no idea the extent of the special events that you did.
Absolutely. We always have something going on here. And that's not to mention, we do half price select wine bottles on Tuesdays. We do $15 Wagyu burger Mondays. We've got live music here on Fridays and Saturdays. There's always stuff happening.
And I love that you use local stuff. I didn't realize that. I am all about that and just I love that for so many reasons.
Absolutely. Me too. I think right now in particular, it's important to be able to support our local farmers and our local vendors to make sure that we build them up as much as our guests build us up.
And you mentioned a little bit about what you have coming up in December, you can also do holiday parties. It does not have to be a wedding related event for you to have something on the patio by any means.
Absolutely. Every December, we host holiday luncheons, and that is a private event you'll reach out to us for, where you can bring in your guests that you've brought in from out of town and not have to worry about cooking for them, because I'm sure you're doing plenty of that already. That you can pick a set menu and come in and just enjoy yourself.
And if someone is listening to this and they are interested in learning more or coming in to see the patio and talk about menus or just kind of if it's a good fit for them, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
So there's a few ways you can reach out. The most direct way is through our email. It's Azur at azurrestaurant.com. And I personally monitor that email. You can also go through our website. We've got a contact form as well as a private events form on there you can fill out. And then you can always give us a call at 859-296-1007 if you're more comfortable with that.
Well, Taylor, I thought whenever you and I met a couple weeks ago that you had told me all the things that I needed to know about Azur, but I have actually learned even more today, and I'm excited to work with you. Is there anything else that maybe we haven't talked about that you would like to share with those listening?
Only that we love hosting these events. We love celebrating with people. We love breaking up our day and our week with having these special occasions that we can really cater to, and just really enjoy other people's company.
One last question. I just randomly thought about this. A lot of times at rehearsal dinners, we will have a specialty cake or a groom's cake. Are folks allowed to bring in a groom's cake for rehearsal
Oh,
dinner?
absolutely. You can definitely bring in
Okay.
your own cake. You would like to, we can even cut it. We've got a small cake cutting fee, but in that case, you don't have to supply, any cutting supplies, forks, plates, any of that. We can cut it and serve it.
Well, Taylor, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm excited for those that are listening to this that maybe haven't been back since you reopened or are from out of town and going to be visiting for wedding to be able to come in and visit.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to work with you as well.
Wedding planning doesn't have to be overwhelming, and you don't have to do it alone. If you want guidance you can trust, I would love to help. At Simply Love Studio, I offer free wedding consultations where we talk through your vision, your budget, and what steps make the most sense for you. There's no pressure, no obligations, no catches, no gimmicks, just honest advice and support to help you move forward with confidence. You can schedule your free consult anytime at simplylovestudio.com, and I promise you'll walk away with clarity and a plan.